Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Nate G219, to Hell But Back and Better. I hope everybody's feeling great this morning. It's Wednesday, February 2nd at about 4 o'clock in the morning. You know I do them early when I can. Sorry I haven't posted recently. Been real busy with work. Extreme cold temperatures outside take all the energy that you have and drain it. All you want to do is lay in the bed and be warm when you get home. But I'm going to do a quick one today. Trying to get my subscribers up there, so I'm going to do something some people have requested. And they want to know about the K2 in the Indiana prison systems. And in Indiana, it's an epidemic, just like from what I understand from every other state as well. K2 and Suboxone are flooded through the prison systems, guys. And I'm not going to lie, my first bid, I smoked Tucci all the time. But I never had too many bad experiences. I never had a real horrible effect while in there, but I did see a lot of it. Oh my gosh. Man, some people. I watched one guy, all right, in Michigan City's Lakeside, which is an open dorm, about 350 people in the whole entire camp together, and 3 dorms. So about 120 people in the dorm I was in, and people would walk around like zombies constantly. Like zombies. I mean, there was some funny things. It's the first week I was there, I'd seen somebody running around naked, get tackled, taken to the hole, never seen again. Just the way people act. But nowadays, back then it was coming in an herb. It wasn't straight chemical. So now, since the mail system, they figured out how a lot of it was coming in, and they've changed things up, and now it was just simply coming in on a piece of paper, sprayed on a piece of paper, and then once the police were led onto that, it had to transform to where it basically comes in through the only mailer that you're not allowed to be denied of, which is law paperwork. They've figured out how to ship it in with law paperwork. It can't be searched. It can just be, flipped through to make sure there's nothing there, but it can't be detailed searched. It just can't. It's illegal for anybody else to go through that. And so you really don't know what you're getting. And sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's extremely crazy. I've seen people think they turned into zombies, start crying. And I'm going to tell you one time, my worst experience, and well, it was an accident that I had smoked it. I thought I was only smoking a cigarette, and I took one puff, and man, I took the direct, like it was a cigarette, and because it comes in on paper, you get this little sliver, and they chop it up, and I've seen people just roll up a wrap and just smoke the paper. But I worked in the bakery. I was capable of getting tea bags, and that was a great little side hustle. I know a tea bag for $1 is crazy, but I mean, it was worth it for me. I mean, I bring in 20 tea bags, and there's $20 in a day, and tea bags were easy for me to get. So they put it into the tea, roll up the tea, and smoke the tea with the Tucci on it, man. Well, when I took a drag, this wasn't tea, by the way. I thought I was smoking just a cigarette. They had put it on a cigarette. So, of course I wanted to smoke a cigarette. I was still smoking back then, and whenever I could anyways. But I took one drag off of it, and as I was exhaling, I just felt this horrible feeling come across me, and I look over at my bunkie, and he's doing this weird convulsing sniff. Mickey Robinson, shout out to you, brother. And next thing I know, I accepted death into my head. I knew I was going to die. There was no getting around it. I was fighting it in my head. I was fighting it. I was fighting it. I was fighting it. And I accepted it. And then I woke up. And that was my last experience with K2. Never again. Never again would I do something like that. And I was so mad because it was an accident that I almost got in a fight with my bunkie. But I left that alone. He was a little bit older for one. Two, he's a real cool dude. Three, it was an accident. It was just a pure accident. But I woke up on the top of my bunk. So the guys had lifted me up and put me up there. Thank you guys. I don't know who did it. If it was Chase Brankel. You know how I feel about you, punk. Anyway. It's an epidemic, man. A week later, that same batch of K2 was still floating around. And my bunkie and my neighbor, my bunkie was Mickey, and my neighbor was Jeff. I don't recall Jeff's last name, but he was from Anderson, Indiana. Older gentleman. He loved to get high. That's all he wanted to do. His plans were to get home, get high. So, sure, if he's not in prison, he's home getting high. Well, Mickey and Jeff shared a Tucci stick that day. And I wanted to see what was happening. I wanted to see what was going on. Well, Mickey again starts doing this weird convulsing. Jeff then starts doing this weird convulsing, but Jeff's on the top bunk. I'm standing on the outside. And Mickey's on the bottom bunk. Mickey just starts throwing up everywhere. Thankfully, my box was 98% closed. Nothing major got in my box, but I mean, it was a gross situation. My stomach, as soon as throwing up started happening, Jeff started throwing up on Mickey. I was gone. I had to go. People were telling me I had to clean my bunker. No, they are cleaning every bit of that. I'm gonna throw up. I didn't. It was about 7 o'clock. I didn't go back into the dorm until we had to at 10 o'clock. It was the grossest thing I had ever seen. I've seen big bodybuilding muscle men break down crying. That which is hilarious. All right, guys, prison isn't all bad. I mean, I tell you guys a lot of nightmare stories because I have nightmares. I have PTSD. I'm permanently scarred forever from prison. But there was a lot of good times in there, you know, and it's because we're human and everybody's going to make the best out of the bad situation. Right? That's your goal. You got to pass all that time, because remember, the day you go in and the day you go home are the only 2 days you do. So might as well make the best of it while you're there. And you know, yeah, you got to stay out of some shit, but if you want to have some fun, you got to get into some shit. And you don't have to smoke Tucci to have fun, because I found more entertainment watching it than doing it. It's a horrible feeling. Guys, don't do drugs. Especially in prison. You're going to run yourself up in debt. You're going to run yourself up and look like an idiot. It's just all bad situation. Everybody is going to fall at some point in time if they get themselves caught up with the K2, the Suboxone, whatever drug. You're going to get yourself ran up in the funnies. For you, those of you that don't know what in the funnies means, it means ran up and to where you can't afford anything. The funnies are ran up a debt to where you can't afford things like that. And people will take advantage of you, especially when you're high. Remember, everybody there is a criminal. They're there for something. I'm sure some people, a couple of them here and there, are innocent for real, but chances are they're guilty of something else. They might not have done that specific crime, but they've probably done one that should have put them there for life. But I mean, or for the time that they're there, whatever it is. Because I know for a fact, had I been arrested for every single crime I committed, I would have never been home. My wife, my house, this would have she would have been somebody else's wife, which, I mean, that woman is an amazing woman. She's beautiful, she's smart, and she's loyal. That's all I could ask for. And she supports me. So going from that environment, coming to what I have now, you guys, it's a hard road, but it can be done. If you go to prison and you come home a convicted felon, it can be done. Things can be done. You can make yourself a success story. You can do it. But if you're messing with them drugs, Tucci, I mean, that shit, that's right up there with heroin in my eyes. Just now, I'm not saying then it was, because well, then I didn't really care. Regardless, I was getting high because I was in prison. I was just killing time. No work dorm, no, I had to kill some time. But coming home, my last bid, like I said, I didn't use at all in prison that time, except for the one accidental smoking of K2. But my year that time was to get my head right. I rehabilitated myself in that year, along with my wife helping me every day along the way. She was there for me. And now we have a beautiful 3-year-old little girl, a house, almost an acre of land. I mean, it's in a neighborhood, but it doesn't matter. I love it. I'm loving my life now. And you know what? I'm not getting high. I'm not using dope. I'm not using coke. I'm not using Tucci. I mean, there's things I do to relax. I got PTSD, and I have nightmares and severe anxiety. You know the saying, a little dabble do. But hey guys, I gotta get out of here. Gotta get ready to go to work. It's a freaking cold one out there. It's been below zero for the last 2 days. And for those of you that don't know, I trim trees for the power companies. And yeah, we're out working in it. So going 50 feet in the air when the wind's whipping and it's real field temperature is -7. It's horrible. It's horrible. Hate it. But I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm loving my life. That's all that matters. If they ain't hating it, you ain't making it.